K-pop Demon Hunters is the world's hottest movie. But what if we told you there are some shocking, hidden secrets buried inside it? Things the creators never wanted you to find out, like Rumi's dad actually being alive? Or the shocking truth about Jinu? Hang on tight, we're gonna spill all the tea right now. Secret number 1. The truth about Rumi's dad. Now, if you sub to our channel, and if you don't, quickly hit that bell below so you don't miss out. You already know that the leaked original movie storyboards revealed Rumi's dad was a kind-hearted demon. In a flashback that never made it to the film, Rumi discovers her dad genuinely loved her hunter mom, and that Celine executed Rumi's dad. It's the premise for the whole film and Rumi's identity crisis. Except that an insider Netflix source tells us that Rumi's dad, he's actually still alive. And the creators left a huge clue in the movie. Remember this scene? Gwi-Ma famously says, "One of the hunters bears my mark," but that's not the real giveaway. Turn on the subtitles and there's a blink and you'll miss it moment where Gwi-Ma doesn't say anything out loud, and yet the subtitles suddenly flash this line, "The child of my child now stands against me." It was clearly a mistake, or was it? What if the creators intentionally hid it there in the subtitles on purpose? Guys, the child of my child. That's not a random demon threat. That alludes to lineage. One of the hunters bears my mark, and the child of my child very clearly tell us that Rumi is Gwi-Ma's granddaughter. This is totally game-changing because it tells us two massive things. First, Rumi's father isn't just some random demon, he's the son of the most powerful demon to ever exist, which suddenly makes one thing very clear. There is no way he's dead. This is the High Prince of Evil we're talking about. Characters like that don't just disappear. They survive, they scheme, they wait for the perfect time to rise like a phoenix. Second, and this is the real shocker, if Gwi-Ma really is her grandfather, then Rumi isn't just fighting demons, she's fighting her own bloodline. Her enemy isn't out there, it's in her DNA. That's why K-pop Demon Hunters feels so familiar. It's basically Korean Star Wars, destiny, legacy, inherited darkness. Of course it's an instant hit, but here's where it gets even crazier. In an interview, director Maggie Kang admitted they intentionally cut this flashback scene, along with several other story arcs we'll reveal later, to keep the film tight, clean, and focused on Rumi's journey towards self-acceptance. But she hinted that they're gonna explore those other stories, quote-unquote, another time. Which to us clearly means the sequel, currently in production and slated for 2028, will finally unleash the family history they've been hiding in plain sight. It's just too juicy to keep hidden any longer. Which leads us to secret number 2, the secret R rating. That's right, did you know K-pop Demon Hunters was initially supposed to be an R movie? In an interview with Maggie Kang and producer Chris Appelhans, they revealed something huge. The movie was originally developed as an R-rated film for audiences over 17. But during the storyboarding phase, Netflix and Sony swiftly stepped in. They decided they wanted a wider audience and younger viewers. So the creators were asked to tone everything down and reshape the film to land a PG-13 rating. But here's the juicy bit. Insiders reveal that the original storyboards of the film were actually so much darker and more mature, which totally tracks because it was meant for an audience over 17. And here's where it gets wild. In those original storyboards, Jinu apologizes to Rumi for betraying her at the Idol Awards. An emotional Rumi forgives him, and they spend the night together. But it doesn't end there. Later on, Rumi temporarily defeats Gwi-Ma, which we now know is really her grandfather. And after that victory, she finds out she's pregnant. She's carrying Jinu's child. A full-circle classic K-drama twist. Of course, that entire storyline was cut when the film pivoted to PG-13. But here's the thing, the creators didn't fully erase it. They never erase anything, they just hide it cleverly in the movie, just like the granddaughter storyline. If you watch closely, the clues are hidden in metaphors and symbolism. Remember this iconic scene? Rumi looks up and suddenly Jinu's above her. He locks eyes with her, covers her with his body in possession. Then he pours himself into her, literally. You can see his glowing essence leave his body and enter hers. They merge, they become one. And if you think that's accidental symbolism, think again. Have you actually listened to the song Soda Pop? Don't you stop till my soda pop fizzles out. Be serious now. Jinu and Rumi got it on, and the creators were trying to tell us this the whole time. Which brings us to the next diabolical secret, Rumi's fate. Maggie Kang recently dropped a jaw-dropping hint about where Rumi's story was originally headed. She admitted she was obsessed with classic Korean tragedies, the kind where the main character dies in a shocking twist. And apparently, that was always the plan for Rumi. In the original R-rated version, Rumi was meant to die after giving birth, mirroring her own mother's tragic fate. But when Netflix pushed the film to PG-13, that ending was cut entirely. Because, let's be real, Western audiences would absolutely riot if the main character died in a PG-13 animated film. Here's the interesting part though. Kang also hinted she's not opposed to going there later, just differently. Insiders say Rumi's eventual fate may look more like Harry Potter's death, where the part of him tied to evil is destroyed, but his mother's love anchors him back to life. In other words, Rumi may still die, but her love, maybe for her own daughter, pulls her back to life. Secret number 5. The truth about Jinu. Now, you already know this if you sub to our channel. When Jinu poured his life into Rumi, he actually poured himself into her sword. See how it comes away illuminated with his blue soul energy? Even the movie's character designer Yoonhee Cho reveals this in his illustrations of Rumi's sword before and after Jinu's so-called death. Insiders admit that the real reason they kept Jinu alive is because he was initially supposed to raise he and Rumi's child, so she could grow up to be a hunter, just like her mom. We'll get to that in a sec. Secret number 6. The power of 4. In his original designs for the film, Yoonhee Cho reveals he left so many clues alluding to the number 4. In one of his original drawings, for example, Yoonhee points out that this mandala symbol embedded in the new Hun moon is inspired by a 4-leaf clover. See this? He's put it absolutely everywhere. 4, 4, 4, 4. There are just too many hints that point to the power of 4 in the movie. Songmakers have even spotted that songs like Takedown and What It Sounds Like are clearly written as a 4-part harmony, with chords split for 4 distinct voices: a soprano, alto, tenor, and a missing 4th bass line. Which leads us to the next hidden secret: this sketch. In original movie character sketches, creators reveal that the new generation of hunters were meant to evolve into a 4-member group, and Huntrix was always supposed to lead to this right here. Now let's put it all together. Jinu's still alive. The movie hints at something about the mysterious power of 4. This guy looks mysteriously like Jinu, and this is clearly Mira, Zoe, and Rumi. But wait, didn't Maggie Kang hint that Rumi was supposed to die in the sequel? If so, then who's this 4th Huntrix member? Which leads us to the last hidden secret, the most jaw-dropping one of all: Rumi's secret twin sister. Alright guys, if you want to know all about Rumi's long-lost twin sister from the original cut of the movie, click on the video up on screen now. We share all the details about Rumi's long-lost twin sister that they cut from the film. Is she the 4th Huntrix? Is she gonna be evil? Find out on the video on screen now. Thanks so much for watching.